Hey all, welcome to the September Pickups video. This is a shorter version of the video as the first one was almost an hour long, and in the event that you didn't want to sit through an entire hour but you still wanted to see what I picked up, I'm recording this version too. So if you've already seen the main one, you don't need to take a look at this one. If you want to, go for it. Alright, let's see what I got. We're going to start with some of these smaller items first, such as this box here from Amazon, which not quite sure what this is because I have another package from Amazon as well. Let's see. And in this box we have, oh yeah, replacement batteries. For those that don't know, a lot of the older video game systems that had save capabilities needed batteries in order to provide small trickles of power to the SRAM chip in order to preserve your game save. You know, for example, Legend of Zelda. You sit there, you get to a certain part of the game, you save it, turn it off, come back to it a couple of days later, you can pick up right from where you left off. A lot of these batteries, after 20, 30 some odd years, are starting to fail. And as such, all your game saves are going to be lost. Now, you may not care about your data from 30 years ago, but let's say you wanted to pick up a game today and just try it out and play. You wouldn't be able to save it unless you replaced the battery. Now, these batteries, they're just your typical coin cell batteries, the same that you have in your key fob for your car, garage door opener, etc., except these have specific tabs soldered on to them as well, which means that you have to unsolder the old battery and solder the new ones in. There are other methods where you can swap out the battery for a battery holder, a little plastic device basically that the battery would clip into, and then you can just use your off-the-shelf batteries. But I'm going to try to stay as close to the original as possible. Just again, your simple basic battery. So I'm going to probably have a video in the future of me replacing one of these batteries, just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Next thing I have is another shipment from Amazon, but I think I know what these are based on the feel. Yes. White DVD cases, or in other words, replacement cases for Nintendo Wii games. I've got a few games where the cases are kind of scuffed up, dirtied, I can't clean them, or maybe even just a little torn, so I'm going to try to swap those out with these. It's surprisingly hard to find these on Amazon at a decent price, so I only ordered 5 of them. Hopefully it'll be enough. At the very least, I'll have enough to replace what I currently own, and if I ever pick up anything in the future, I might just have to order more. We'll see. Next thing I'll show off is just a pickup from a local video game store, and it's Rock Band for the Wii. Lego Rock Band, to be specific. This was released as a kid-friendly version of Rock Band, where the avatars are actually little Lego figures. Kind of cool. It's got artists in here, you know, Blink-182, Bon Jovi, Counting Crows, Jackson 5. So they're, for the most part, family-friendly songs. This game did have the ability to download music off the Rock Band network, but it was set in such a way that it would flag anything that was over PG-13, I believe, or equivalent, and would block them. So I picked this one up because it was only a couple of bucks. Manual was in fantastic shape. Not that you need a manual for a game like this, but I've got it. And the disc itself was in pristine shape, so, and this will definitely be featured in a future video. But if this is what I think it is, and if the description on eBay was accurate, which I hope it was, and my expectations are somewhat in check, then this should be one hell of a find. And that's right, if you can see through the bubble wrap. But if you can't, I will take it off. And that is a Texas Instruments TI-99/4A. Now, for those of you who saw my intro video, you'll know that I owned one of these. The only difference is that this is the beige model, whereas I had the black model with some brush metal accents. The only difference between the two, other than the color, is that this is a cost-reduced version. Now, it's functionally 100% the same, supports the same accessories and everything. It's just that this one, they've integrated some components, structured some things differently to save a little bit of money. I'm really, really, really interested in the condition of the computer itself. Stuck to the bottom. And here it is. It's definitely in pristine shape. I mean, if it is used, you definitely can't tell. I will definitely have a future video on the TI-99 and, its history and a teardown and things like that. Let's see, what else do we have? We have 1-year limited warranty. Well, pretty sure I can't claim this. And then beginner's basic, which I very, very briefly went over basic in the intro video, and I'm not going to bore you with that now. I might go over it in the TI video. Maybe I'll even write a couple of programs, or at least try some of the ones that are in the book here. Make sure everything is working. So there's that. Oh, packing peanuts. That's never fun. They get everywhere, and you find them like 10 months later. But I think I know what this is, and it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. If you can tell by these joysticks, this is an Atari 2600. Let's take a look at these controllers first. And of course, as usual, I will have another video in the future going over the Atari 2600, including disassembly of the system, the controllers to make sure that they're in good shape, and maybe 1 or 2 games just so we can see what they look like inside. Definitely going to have to clean up the system, and I don't even know if I want to take it out of the bag at this point. But yeah, typical joystick. There's 5 of them in here. Still feels good. Clicks alright, moves alright. Works for me. For now, anyway. Let's set these aside. So this is one of the wireless controllers. I've never actually used it before. This one also has the same problem with the rubber cap coming off, but feels alright, at least. Hopefully there's no batteries in here. Good, they did not leave batteries in there, which means that there's no corrosion. And of course the receiver module. That's all this is, basically. 2 joystick connectors. I'll open this up in the official Atari video as well. Antenna's still in good shape. Heck, I remember a lot of TVs from this era used this style of antenna, and almost all of them would be broken at some point. And of course the power brick, which I'll have to test the voltages on just to make sure, but it should be in good shape. I really don't want to take this system out of the bag because of all the pet hair and this dust that's on here. I want to really take it outside and give it a few spurts of air and before I even do anything with it. But I can tell that the wood grain finish on it is wearing out a little, which after this many years I'm not surprised. Actually, we'll set that there because I have a boatload of games to go through. So we'll start with this just because it was closest to me. this is an unusual case because it looks like it just ejects them. So they... Huh. Interesting. I've never seen anything like this before. Oh, okay. I don't know if we can get this on camera, but I think this is how it's supposed to work, and just pops your game out for you. So, well... And the next thing we have is from Amazon, and I pretty much know what this is going to be, but let's open it up together and find out. Why? It's the Genesis Mini. If you've seen the Mini Nintendos and the Mini Super Nintendos in the stores over the past couple of years, then you'll probably know what this is all about. It's Sega's version of the Sega Genesis, but in the mini format. It's got 40-some games on there, plus 2 additional ones that were announced and that have really never been released before on the Genesis. They wanted to kind of, sweeten the deal a little bit. So let's take a look and see what's inside. These are the 3-button controllers instead of the 6-button controllers that came out later on in life. And the reason Sega did this instead of the 6-button controller is for nostalgia reasons. However, they included some games on here that all but require the 6 buttons, including, where is it at here? Are these in alphabetical order? Yeah. Street Fighter 2. It's almost impossible to play without a 6-button controller. And I could have sworn there was one more, but it slips my mind right now. So we'll have to, I guess, try it later. HDMI cable, because you could never have too many of those. Some simple instructions. And of course, the Mini itself. And it looks like a little Sega Genesis. Reset even works, and there's a fake volume slider. USB ports instead of regular Genesis ports. And on the back, HDMI and USB power. The other cool thing about this is that this cover slides off. It doesn't do anything. However, on the original one, there was a connector there that would slide into the Sega CD. Speaking of that, it's something that I'm a little bit bitter about, but nothing I can do. Japan is getting additional add-ons for this thing. A fake Sega CD, a fake 32X, a fake copy of Sonic and Knuckles, and then a copy of Sonic that plugs into the top of Sonic and Knuckles. It's called the Tower of Power, and it was a big joke back when the Genesis was popular because the thing would be like this tall, and you'd have like power bricks all over the place and everything. I'll link I won't link, I'll just impose a picture in there so you can see what it looks like. But it's like a Japan only exclusive, and that kind of annoys me because that would be kind of cool to have as a as a collector. And so related to the Genesis Mini, essentially, I've got a few other local pickups. First one I'll show off that is directly related to the Genesis Mini is it says an 8-button arcade pad with USB. You'll notice it's got the Sega logo on it. This is made by a company called Retrobit, and it is an officially licensed official product from Sega, a replication of the original 6-button Genesis controller. Now this one says 8-button because this actually includes 2 additional shoulder buttons, because this is also compatible with computers and the Nintendo Switch. Next thing I'm going to show off is for the original Sega Genesis, and that is an HD TV cable by a company called Hyperkin. They make a bunch of different retro products, and this is one of their latest releases. It basically converts the Sega Genesis video signal and audio and converts it to HDMI for your newer TVs. Now, the cable itself is, just this basic brick with an HDMI cable on one end, and the other end is got a mini DIN connector. It's for the Genesis 2. However, it also comes with an adapter that converts it from the Genesis 2 plug to the Genesis 1 plug. And then it also needs separate power, so it gives you a micro USB to USB cable. Most newer TVs have a USB port on them. You can use that to feed power. Otherwise, you can pick up just any cell phone charger that you have laying around the house, and it should be enough. Now, on the box itself, you'll notice a switch that says 4.3 and 16.9. This basically sets the picture to standard format that the Genesis is compatible with, 4.3, which is kind of like the square shape on your older televisions, whereas 16:9 is more of a widescreen format. And the last thing I'm going to show off, similar to the first controller I showed, this is an actual Sega Genesis 6-button controller. Again, made by Retrobit, but it's an officially sanctioned product by Sega, and this is designed to be used on the Sega Genesis. It comes like this. I don't remember if the originals came in a plastic container or if they were basically, if it was like wrapped in plastic in a cardboard box, but you'll see it's got the regular Genesis plug on it. Even says Sega, and it's the original 6-button controller. Well, technically 7 because it's got the mode button on top. But yeah, this will work with just about any Sega Genesis. Well, that's all I got for September. See anything you like? Leave a comment below and we can discuss it. If you liked the video, go ahead, hit the thumbs up, and please subscribe. And if you're already subscribed but haven't done so yet, hit the little bell. That way you'll be notified when I upload new videos. If you didn't like the video, go ahead, hit the thumbs down, but please leave a comment below stating what you didn't like about it, and I'll try to make improvements in the future. Thanks, Al. I'll catch you later.